Okay, yeah, one of the things that we do is always pull the bottom covers off the ft101es around this back area here before you even switch one on. Sometimes you can find something that you will say, oh my god, that resistor particularly there and a few others can be up in smoke, and you can see burn marks and you can see different things that possibly can be an issue. So just from a basic 101 principle of dealing with old valve radios, always remember that use your instincts. Don't use your multimeter completely as your only tool. Have a look around. We'll actually pull this plate here and have a little bit of a look underneath the socket as well. But always be sort of thinking to yourself, what else, could be wrong with this radio before I turn it on? Because sometimes by finding the fault, before you turn it on, it may be the difference between saving a set of valves or not. It just could be that timing that you say, well, fantastic, I've seen that dried out cap or one that's blown to bits. I've had this one here explode everywhere. There's certainly been a number of power supply faults in 101Es over the years. But to give you an idea, it's come up extremely clean. I've left the plastic on. This is not always a smart way to go. Sometimes in better light, you might find that you've got little bits and pieces that have tucked in here, but at the moment it's still a little bit too wet to tell. So we'll see what happens with this. And I'll just put on pause for a second. Okay, and so that we've got the that's it. The bottom cover back on. Just something to note. There's a 6-screw combination: 2 in the front, 2 in the side, 2 in the rear, and you've got these 2 little nuts here. You've got no problems taking those off. They are supported threads that are there, and then basically that comes off. Just a thing to remember that when you are taking the covers off any of these radios, any valve radio, doesn't matter which one it is, just please remember to be cautious of the voltages inside, because they are lethal. And we've got another amplifier on the go at the moment in the other room, which is I was going to do a video on that, but look, the voltages get up to 3,000 volts on that, and I just didn't think it was practical to try and teach you how to change out 4CX800s and neutralize, etc., because there is a degree of fear that you should have, even me, and I've done lots of them, and precautions. I think the word is really precaution that you need to take. So whenever playing around with any of this stuff, I know I make it sound like it's all just pull it to bits, put it back together, clean it up, maybe fix a few faults, but also be very wary of all the bits and pieces as far as voltages that can really bite. So what we've ended up with is a very gleaming, and we've been able to, as I said before, save the plastic. We'll see. I just need to see it. Sometimes I need to get cotton buds in these little areas here, but so far it's looking pretty good. If I need to get cotton buds in there, we'll do that, but that's all the knobs on, off, etc., all done. The back and the fans, always have a look at your fans. Generally, you'll find if it's been a smoker, the fan blades will be absolutely full of, unfortunately, tar. And but yeah, this has really come up quite nice, and we've cut and polished the case and given it a good chance of having a good life. We'll go plug it in a minute, and you may ask, my God, have you just cleaned this up without checking if it works first? Well, yes, I have. But the idea there is that there hasn't been a 101E that's got the better of me yet. So normally I sort of predict that we are going to get them going if there is a problem. The last one I did, just so you know, needed a couple of 6JS6s and 12BY7, and that was back to full power. This could be the same. We'll find out. Anyway, that's a cleaned up version. I'll probably put a note on the file whether if smoke pours out of it. I don't think it's looking pretty good inside, to be honest, after we've given it a nice clean, and everything seems, all the caps you'd normally expect to see, or diodes that might have problems, look pretty clear. We took the whole final output stage to bits and put it all back together again, checked upper and lower, and really does look pretty as new in there. It was dirty, but that's just a matter of cleaning up. All right, that's the ft101e. This is wagga number 2, I call this. So thanks very much to the boys up at Wagga. I'm glad we've been able to bring this one back to a little bit more, well, put a little bit more life back into it, and we'll show you probably some videos of this working with the 6-metre transverter and a few other things, external VFOs, etc., in another video. Thanks very much, VK3 Charlie Mike. Cheers.